Welcome back to the channel. Today we are sipping bourbon, 10-year-olds. Who doesn't like an age statement on a bourbon? Kind of gives us some idea of the quality of juice that should be in the bottle. The problem is with these 3 bottles of 10-year-old bourbon, we go from a price point of $38 to $45 to $50 to $100. Is there a noticeable difference? Are we just chasing hype? Are we just chasing limited editions, allocated items? Or can you get great 10-year-old bourbon on the shelf all the time for a better value? Let's find out. All right, in our lineup today, we've got 3 quality bourbon producers. We've got Wild Turkey with their Russell's Reserve line. This is their 10-year. Proof on this is 90 proof. And the mash bill on this is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. So that's the mash bill on this. Eagle Rare is our next bourbon. All right, on our Eagle Rare, the mash bill's not published, but people have, with their fantastic palates, have come up with what they think the mash bill is. 75% corn, 10 to 12% rye, 10 to 12% malted barley. So not too dissimilar from the Russell's 10-year. Also coming in at 90 proof, just like the Russell's Reserve. Now, here's where it gets interesting. We've got the Jack Daniel's 10-year. This is batch 4. This is the, obviously, just like it sounds, right? The 4th batch that they've put out of this offering. These kind of bottles started to come out with the Heritage series back in like 2018, I think was the first series of the Heritage releases to come out. That kind of evolved into some other releases like the Coy Hill and then into the Jack 10-year. They have a 12-year version and a 14-year version. I've actually never had this bourbon at all. None of the batches, never tried the 10-year. Obviously, I've had Jack Daniel's, but just never this offering in any of the batches. Now the mash bill on the Jack Daniel's is 80% corn, 12% malted barley, and 8% rye. So of the 3, the lowest rye, it's not even the second grain in here. Usually when you think about bourbon mash bills, rye or wheat is the second grain, meaning the most of that grain is the second grain. And on this offering, it's not. It's the malted barley, and the rye brings up the rear at 8%. So what I'm going to do is I've got 3 glasses, 1, 2, and 3, and you might be going, really, Rob? You're going to blind these? What for? I don't know. Just to have a little fun, you know? All right, let's open these bottles up. You think I'd already done that, but I didn't. Now we jump to the 10-year that is the, I don't know, it's one of the sweethearts of Buffalo Trace, right? Everybody loves Eagle Rare. So this typically is harder to find, but I think it's going to become a little easier as we start to see more of the production of the Eagle Rare 12 and obviously more production of the Eagle Rare 10. I think you'll start seeing these on the shelf. Now, this everywhere now is around $50. But we talk about those prices, and then we jump to this big bad boy, which is 97 proof. So these 2 at 90, this at 97. Will we notice that? I don't know. It's sweeter, might be a little bit more tempered, that proof, that heat. We're going to find out. But this is a limited release. So this is not going to be on the shelf. This is going to be something people are always chasing. Still 10 years, just like these 2. Why do they want it so much more than these 2? Well, we're human beings, right? Anytime something is limited and only a few people can have it, we want to be one of those people. Not me. Yeah, I do. I got one. When you spend $100 for something, I mean, I don't know if it's actually better or in our mind, we're just going, hey, $100, this is obviously way better than this. I don't know. I'm going to try to be fair and objective today and tell you what I actually think. Is this worth $100? But all right, I got 3 Bottles and Bites glasses. I put a little blue tape and a little 1, 2, 3 on them. And again, I know I'm going to know what they are for the most part, I think, but still, just for the fun of having fun, let's see if I screw this up. And let's open this bad boy up. I do need to kind of even these out. I got to tell you, I thought it would be like obvious in the glass which one was which. It's really not, because when you look at them, I don't know if it's just the light hitting it. This one looked to be clearly the darkest, and I still think I might know, but we're going to give this a spin. We're going to nose, we're going to taste, and we'll give you our opinion. All right, I'm going to close my eyes. Let's put them in close because I think they were sliding. Let's try this one more time. All right, let's stop right now. All right, so glass number one will be Jack Daniel's. Glass number two will be this Eagle Rare. Glass number three will be the Russell's Reserve. So now that we got them all mixed up, I'm just going to take them down. Let's get rid of Susan. She's a little lazy. And I think I know which one three is. Obviously, darkest one, I think this is going to be the Jack Daniel's. Wow. That's really nice. Okay, just on the nose, when you go into this the first time, and like I said, it's dark, so I think it's the Jack Daniel's, but this has this richness to it, this depth to it, this sweetness level. You know, I know the proof's 97, so it's not beating up your nose. You really get to enjoy the depth of flavors, the complexity of flavors that's in this bourbon. Wow. Okay, that's a really beautiful nose. Like that. This also, very nice nose. Not as rich, doesn't have that depth. Now, we also know that not all 10-year-old bourbons are created equal. We know that Rick House, you know, where they are in elevation, where they are on the tier that they're in, the barrel char, the influence of that into the bourbon. All these things play a part into what you ultimately get in the glass. So we're just trying to see, is a $38 10-year from Russell's Reserve, can it hold its own with a $100 10-year from Jack Daniel's? And where do we think Eagle Rare falls? This is not as rich as this darker one, which we know. But man, still a very nice nose. Get a lot of cherry on this one, which may lead me to Buffalo Trace. It does not seem like a Wild Turkey product. But still, good complexity. Still has a little bit of depth to it. Not real rich. Wild Turkey, they do alligator char, which is level 4 on the char level. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4 as far as how much you're going to char the inside of the barrel that you put the bourbon in. They go alligator char. They go very dark. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what Buffalo Trace and Jack Daniel's do as far as char level. This has more sweetness, has a little bit more richness to it, a little bit more depth to it. This is a little thinner. And this is the best one of them all. Wow. Okay. So on the nose, I mean, 1, 2, 3, I should say. So 3, 2, 1 would be my favorite. This one would be number 1, which I think is the Jack Daniel's, just based on color. We're cheating here a little bit, but still kind of fun. This is number 2. I think this is the Eagle Rare, number 2. And I think this is our Russell's Reserve, the 10-year. Still a nice nose, though. On the palate, let's dive in and see what we think as far as some sips. Okay, that's delicious. That's Wild Turkey for sure. So we know that's the Russell's Reserve, which we already know that's going to be the Jack Daniel's. So it's screaming Wild Turkey profile. But man, nice Kentucky hug. It's my first sip of the day, so I expect a little hug. But the nose translates to the palate. I mean, I still get this cherry. I get good complexity. It's got a little bit of richness to it. Feels really nice on the palate, on the mid palate. It's got a good finish. I wouldn't call it a great finish. It's not lingering as long as I would like. But the profile, absolutely delicious. When you think about a, 10-year-old bourbon, so it's rounded, it's not sharp. It's not hitting you where it kind of bites on you a little bit. It's very rounded and soft and just drinking very nicely. This is something you want to sip on for sure. And I know Rare Bird 101, Dave Jennings, I think this was one of his favorite, nightly sippers. I'm not sure if it still is, but I think it is, and rightfully so. Beautiful bourbon. Let's jump to the Eagle Rare. I'm acting like I know what they are. I'm pretty sure I do. Okay, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I think on the nose, this is a better nose than this by about that much. On the palate, this is way better. The Russell's Reserve, better than the Eagle Rare on the palate. A little thin, kind of misses. It kind of hits you right on the front of your lips and tongue, and then all of a sudden just goes away, which is kind of weird. I've never done this comparison before, so kind of interesting. I don't know that I've ever done an Eagle Rare comparison other than with any other bourbons, other than against itself with some store picks. Again, 10-year bourbon, it's got that roundness. It's got that viscosity on the palate, that oiliness a little bit more than the Russells, but it's missing the flavor punch on the palate. It's got kind of all the characteristics, but I'm not getting the flavors that I want so badly. Here, it doesn't have as much roundness, but it's got way more flavor on the palate, which I definitely enjoy more. All right, first time ever diving into this bad boy. I'm almost certain that's what it is. And let's see what we think. On the nose, far and away my favorite. Okay, where it wins is on the nose. It's nice on the palate. It has a very similar type mouthfeel with that roundness, that softness to it, the viscosity, the oiliness there. But again, it doesn't, to me, seem to have the flavor punch that I'm enjoying with this Russell's. It's a nice bourbon. I think they're all delicious bourbons. All right, now we get into the evaluation part. The point of this video was to find out, can a $38 bourbon from Wild Turkey Russell's Reserve hang with a limited edition release 10-year from Jack Daniel's at $100? The flavors on the Russell Reserve, just really nice. I got to tell you, a bit of a shock to me. I thought this was going to be kind of a no-brainer. Do I really need to watch this for people who are viewing this? Because we already know the answer, 1, 2, 3. I got to tell you, not the case. I'm going to shock you a little bit and tell you that my favorite bourbon of these three, even though this one, nose, and if all I'm going to do is nose, I'll take the Jack Daniel's. But when I'm sipping, this Russell's Reserve is my favorite. When we take into, is it available? How much does it cost? And quality of the bourbon, this is a no-brainer. This is number one for me. I can always find it on the shelf. 10 years old, $38, and what an awesome bourbon in the glass. Just great. Then I'm going to go Eagle Rare. I think this, on the palate, outdoes this 10-year Jack Daniel's. No doubt in my mind. On the nose, again, nose wins, but overall, I like the Eagle Rare better. When you add up palate and nose, that's a good bourbon. Yeah. Sorry. That's my answer. I don't know if it's because, what impact that malted barley as the second grain, that's the most of the second grain behind the corn in this bourbon plays a part. But I thought it would be sweeter with the 80% corn, just not hitting you there. These two actually are sweeter on the palate. I just really like these two better, and it is what it is. So there you go. I think if you're looking for bourbons and you want a 10-year that just drinks and punches up, I think Russell's Reserve is the way to go. I think if you want something nice that can impress a guest when they're coming over and you want to pour them something that's not easily gettable, I think the Eagle Rare is the way to go. If you found this on a shelf and you could just buy it, maybe at $100, I don't know. I don't know that it's worth chasing. If you stumble into it, buy it for sure. It's something to have on the shelf. It's a cool bottle, but it's not the best 10-year-old bourbon. And for the price, it's not even close. These two are way better. All right, thanks everybody for watching this episode, Bottles and Bites Without Borders. I mean, if you got anything from this video, buy it if you see it, but no sense hunting or chasing the Jack Daniel's 10-year-old. Solid, but not the best bourbon at 10 years old that you can get on the shelf. That would be this Russell's Reserve right here. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and ding that bell. Get notified when we put out new videos. Really appreciate you guys watching this one. That's my 2 cents on these bottles. I think you can't go wrong with Russell's Reserve 10-year. And really appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.